Inferno. And there we are. This map has been redone for CS2. As you mentioned, no skyboxes anymore. So the nade executes a considerable amount different. But here we are for the pistol round. M80 on the T side again. So they start on the T side for both Mirage and Inferno. Slight with a pair of dual Berettas here. No defuse kit for Wildcard. And that's what enabled them to win that pistol round. It was the diffuser. They won't have that now, which could be an interesting factor as we get later on into this round. But as it starts, some utility for both sides. Primarily, though, M80 with a double flash and smoke on slacks. And the smoke and flash combo spread apart Slight and Stanislaw. Malb's ready to get some information up towards B. He'll be flashed away. And nobody's tagged, nobody's damaged, nobody's spotted just yet as MOTM gets ready to push on through.
It's going to be a duel towards Banana for sure. 3 players walking forward. MOTM finds the first. Mob's at trees, caught looking by MOTM as well. The new addition already proving his worth, dropping the bomb. And now this is an awkward choke point in which to fight 3 players here. One of them boosting up the other, if I'm not mistaken. MOTM, an awkward angle, but he has support. And Def is just trying to distract so his teammates can race towards A. It's going to be a wraparound, in fact. It's heard by Slight, but he's not going to force the issue. Sonic, though, disentrenches Def, and all the information's there for Wildcard. This should be their round for the taking. It should be their round to lose at this stage. Rek and Swisher think they have the element of surprise. They clearly do not. 3 on Banana, and 1 coming in from CT. They might get the bomb plant, but at this point, I don't see any chance for them to win the round.
The bomb plant's all they need. Extra kills just to give themselves more of an advantage into the next round would be good too. Swisher only able to get 1 before he drops. Rek 1 more. It's probably still going to be a 4 spy here from M80. It's not going to be as good as it would have been if they would have gotten 3 or even 4. But still, it's not too bad. Bomb plant plus kills. It's how you want your T-side pistol round to go at the very least. And so they accomplished that at the bare minimum. The lack of a kit does not harm the CT side either. So there's that. But M80 are not going to shy away from the force here, Nate. They're going all in. They're getting the buys up, the glills, the AKs, getting all spread around. Very, very short technical pause there as we get right back live and ready to go. Swisher on the Deeg, no armor. Slacks on the Tech 9 with armor and all of that utility. Malbs, Def, and Rek with rifles. Slight better not be running only dualies. Okay, good. Triple MP9s and M4s. Depending on the range some of these MP9 duels are taken, M80 have opportunities to exploit things.
So do Swisher and Rek lack head armor. In fact, Swisher lacks all armor. So he could be chipped away very quickly by an SMG. M80 wants to play. Slow things down. Well, they have 1 player getting aggressive in apartments. That's Swisher, who has next to nothing on his kit. So it kind of makes sense. But everybody else is waiting to play for picks. MOTM might get flashed in to be alone. He needs to be careful here. Mobs is ahead of it. No, he's not. He's blinded. MOTM, a double with the assist from Sonic. Expertly thrown flash, and that cracks the round wide open. That drops weapons. Drops important weapons as well. Weapons they can't afford to leave on the ground. Players they can't afford to leave without finding vengeance. Slacks, Swisher, Rek, trying to pick up the pieces.
It's a great little combo again from Sonic and MOTM. I think it's a great idea too by Wildcard to put 2 former teammates together on bomb sites to really secure some sort of synergy. And that's been working out very well for them. We saw it on Mirage, but so far on Inferno to a much deeper extent. Rek trying to charge on through. Sonic just playing from pillar. Second oranges will not be cleared yet. MOTM with a 4K now as he looks for the ace. Runs out of ammo, swaps to the USP, and finishes off Slacks with the Espus. Nice little ace from MOTM. And that's a welcome to Wildcard moment for him.
Yes, it is. A very solid, fiery hot start on map number 1. It's no different from map number 2. However, the start for Wildcard very much is. They cleanly sweep the first 2 rounds. They don't get upset in the second. That is exactly what they need in this best of 1. Reset mentally. Come out the gate swinging. Maybe they can split series on the evening. Deagle's now across the board for M80. They're trying to just find some damage and leave their mark, but they shouldn't be able to find much success at all. Mob's 1 for 1. Slight also 1 for 1. Okay, things are getting a bit hairy for Wildcard. They need to be careful. Lock in, find this round as you should. This upgrade for Def makes things very concerning. Potentially could snowball into an M80 advantage.
Three v 3 is very winnable right now. Especially if Def can find a pick here. Stanislaw is going to go hunting. Comes down to timing. Both players dink each other. Def comes out on top of that exchange by 1 paltry point of health. But now Def has friends. They're coming up through brackets. Molly into pit from Def. He'll try and get some information on where players might be moving. Stanislaw engages with Rek. Despite being low, wins the first fight and the second two onto Slacks. Stanislaw's lack of HP not going to deter him from success. Another low HP Def just has to avoid getting ticked once by the fire. He's got the deagle in the hand, looking for the headshots, but Sonic comes through the arches. It's a 3-0 lead here for Wildcard on the CT side, but now it's time for a buy-up from M80. If they can have more success like they did in the last round, but multiply that with the force multipliers that are the automatic weapons, they should have some success here and now. AK's out for the T's. Plenty of utility. The op for Slight, though. Like to see him go a little bit aggressive with that, Nate. See if he can take some fights either towards Banana, maybe go for an apps peek. It looks like he's going to go towards the A site here and go for a brackets porch side play. No? Boiler. Okay. I kind of like that with the op there. He backs off
been
early,
jumping
though.
in. Yeah. I like the idea, but backs off early, as you mentioned. He's there for the rush. MOTM still terrorizing Banana. Is there support from Sonic with the flashes? Mobs is boosted up. This angle is very niche. Swing comes in unexpected. The second player spotted. Mobs' spray. Absolutely sensational, even on the ping. He'll find the B site for free. The bomb will rotate in eventually once the Molotov subsides. And unless Wildcard find a pick quickly, that should be the round done and dusted. Slight smoked off. Caught through the smoke to add insult to injury. M80 should find themselves on the board in round number 4.
JBA up top on porch. Has Def as Stanislaw sprays down bulbs. Swisher also falling to JBA, meaning it's a 2v2 now, as the hunt is not working out for M80. They're not going to get the round wild card. It's about doing damage to the T economy and staying alive, which at least JBA is still managing to do, although there is the hunt from Slacks coming in through alt middle. JBA is making all the noise, and Slacks now knows exactly where his prey is coming from. But the hunter is now the hunted. As JBA finds a way to stay alive, Rek has that op in hand. He'll drop that over to Slacks. But finally, they break open the goose egg, M80, get around to the board, try to scale this forward into more success. The economic damage dealt by M80 in the past few rounds has also forced Wildcard into a spot where they're not going to have the best of buys here. They're going to force in. A win for M80 in this round almost secures them the tie scoreline at 3-all. But the MP9's ever dangerous. The FAMAS can do its damage as well. There's plenty of utility for the CT side here. It's a swing round right now in round number 5, and Stan going all the way down middle. Cannot spot Rek through the smoke. And so Rek will get a freebie and the entry to kick off this one.
Solid start. Still only the MP9 dropped, though. Still rifles to contend with. Def, though, is quickly getting control towards middle. There's only 2 players left. They're both trying to combine fire towards arch/truck side. It's the third rotation as well in MOTM. M80, they're stacking towards Banana, but they don't have bomb. It's still all the way back in spawn. Sonic gets the information by spotting 1 player, but still could go either direction from M80. They're going for picks rather than for an outright take. Respect the call, keeping their options open. Wildcard, though, not biting off of all that contact, still holding their ground with 3 towards A.
Lane wrap, but Slight deals in the first around the truck. The second swing has JBA in the pit to back up his teammate. M80 going one by one. Much like the ants, they're falling one by one, but Malbs can be the difference maker. He takes out two. M80's FAMAS, or rather MOTM's FAMAS, excuse me, mops up the last three, and M80 hit the dirt. One man on the site, that third player alive. And the T side gets reset by that extra player on the A side. The double up and pit did so well, but it just could not unseat the last. And MOTM is leading the scoreboard across both teams by a large margin. Triple his next teammate's kills. And double Malbs over on M80. Def has the scout. He won't get peeked. I think it's a good choice by Slacks not to over-aggress, or Slight rather, to not over-aggress against a very possible pistol push. But now it's MOTM's turn to really turn on the jets and take over this game. As he's put himself in a position to do just that early.
He has. It's not let off the gas whatsoever. 4.0 KD. More than his... It was actually tied for the entire M80 kills. 12 for his team, not including himself, and 12 for all of M80. Wildcard playing the buddy system as they should. It's having one player spot towards B, non-committal. And it's paying off in a big way. Slight the final nail in the coffin. A clean and flawless one for Wildcard. A good sprint to start things off. They had that brief moment. They looked like they could be reset. You mentioned the swing round, but MOTM bailing them out, and of course now a very solid advantage, 5-1. M80 finally get rifles back on the board, but they need to get the ball rolling rather quickly. As we've talked about, this map is slowly skewing to a more T-sided map.
It is indeed, and it's not looking good right now for M80, but they still have some time to turn it around. Not much, but a little bit. Slight gets caught through the smoke by Def, just tapping. That's a little unlucky for the Wildcard op. Stanislaw will pick up the big green and take up his position too. That's a pretty gutsy play by Stan. He's lucky to get out of there alive, taken down to 15 HP on more spray. 12 as he gets taken once by the Molotov. MOTM at sandbags, nothing but an MP9 flashed, and Malbs will be unblinded first and unseat the sandbags man. Top frag on the server. Sonic playing around the pond. Does deal with the first. Moves closer around the smoke. Trying to take up a little off angle. Creeps on through. Def is quick on the trigger. Now the B side wide open. Only one player left for Wildcard in the form of JBA. That's going to be a certain save for him, as there's not really a chance he could pull off a 1v4 here. The bomb going down. And he will just await the eventuality of tick, tick, boom. Or rather, Swisher's going on the hunt here, and he might just be joined by Def as well. I don't think, though, for M80 they need to overextend. They don't have the money. They have less money than Wildcard right now. Just hunker down. If he comes to you, cool. If not, don't worry about it. You need to stay alive more than you need that kill.
Keep 4 up, build that T economy rather quickly. Although I imagine they might be rather keen on dropping the op. Don't think Wildcard will be able to get one in the following if they can do so successfully. I've seen the utility for a bit of good measure. Swisher does successfully find JBA. The op contemplated probably won't be picked up. Oh, it will be. Swisher grabs it. Presumably as the death cam expires. That will give Slacks an opportunity to make his shots count in round number 8. He's had a very slow start for himself, yet to find a kill. And the op on T side of Inferno is a very difficult weapon to use.
It's a very bulky weapon to use on the T side of Inferno where everything is so confined. That's why, personally, I'm not a big fan of using it on the T side. Slight does pick up Maul, but that's a big player to take down early as well. A little bit of molly damage taken by both MOTM and Slight, but it's not really too much to worry about just yet. Very passive hold on the A site, but quick rotations coming through now from both MOTM and Sonic, leaving Slight and the Op as the lone defender of the B site. 4 players to anchor A as M80 walk in with 3. Slacks lurking. The Ops are lurking at B. The rifles all gathered around the A site. And the moto side of things, if it's not smoked off, is going to be brutal for M80 to deal with. At least Rek and Molly out pit. But the balcony angle for JBA can do so much with the MP9, especially if we can pick up a rifle. Def takes first contact, though, gets forced away. And M80 are calling it quits on the A side. Take a fast B rotation coming back from Sonic as well. He's got to go fast here, Nate. Def's lurking, and he strikes into MOTM. That might sow some confusion, but at least it deals with one of the rotators. Op v Op duel to entry and really determined. It's won by the rifle instead. Now Slight can strike. It's all down to Swish, and Sonic has his teammates back 6-2. A dominant scoreline early as we get towards the end of this first half now. Wildcard in full command of I guess best of 1 number 2.
Yeah, of the second game. Totally 2 separate games, but they are in control. The driver's seat, 6-2. Again, we mentioned it's been skewing more T side the longer this map has gone on. Historically speaking, not in this specific matchup. Wildcard have done well to get 6, and probably 7th, honestly. And maybe we'll try to hazard something together, cobble something together in round number 9, but it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be clean. It's going to be very rough around the edges. A Galil, 3 AKs, Slacks, I think dropped one of those weapons, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it. He's going to go for a Tech 9 and some utility. The utility is good all around for the T side, but weapons still leave us wanting. Slacks on a Tech 9, Mobs on a Galil. Wildcard, though, also making a concession. That's JBA on an MP9.
Fast banana aggression halted. The lurk from Swisher and Apps finding no aggression so far. MOTM backed up by Sonic again, who has that secondary op, gets naded down to 39 HP. Takes a shot, connects on Mobs through the wall. Another bit of damage taken by Mobs. He goes through. The smoke will ward off any further pressure. So the man advantage remains with Wildcard as MOTM escapes the fire and the flames. He'll struggle to carry on, but he will at least maintain that. They don't clear top of porch. And so Rek gets double dinked by JBA. This round, again, a disaster for M80, as this half has been essentially a disaster for M80. I would expect a timeout to come through on the next gun round, but the scoreline is getting far too wide here. And M80 have let it get on too long.
Yes, they have. Swisher finally finding one, but there's too many targets. Can't win the second duel. He's tagged low. It's still doable, though. Def finding a second on a Slight. Okay, now things get interesting. Players on both sides on low HP. Stanislaw trying to play an offing on site. Good for one. Good trade, though, in kind from Swisher. 18 seconds left. The bomb will finally make its way into the site and hit dirt. Sonic has rotated him, but he is also low on HP. Boosted over the smoke. This could make or break the round. Op trying to find it. Saw the smoke, but could not hit the shot. That might just steal the round. Yeah, the health is just the critical factor. There's no utility to cut off sight lines. There's no utility to finish off Swisher, for example. It might just force Wildcard into a save. Sure, they've been winning rounds, but their economy is not in a healthy state.
Yeah, they gotta stay alive. M80's been doing the economic damage, but they finally get something back on the board. I think at this point, M80 are gunning for a 4 or 5 round half. But it still doesn't seem to me that 4 rounds might not be sufficient. 5, it's close enough. Pistol round victory or win the force buy in round number 2. The half gets you back into it. But M80 are still in a very tough spot. And Wildcard have been able to find ways to keep M80 from stringing rounds together. And that's the biggest issue, too. The fact that M80 have not been able to string a round together here. They've all been isolated. And you're not going to generate success if you cannot string rounds together, if you can't find it in bunches. They're all islands. You can't turn it into an archipelago chain. It's just going to be individuals all alone. And with an opening pick from JBA, double down too! That changes the scope of the round again. The young gun going aggressive. Catching the timing out through bedroom, puts 2 to sleep. Slight goes forward as well. Has only the Tech 9 Slacks to deal with, and the nade will keep Slacks from really running him down. Slight repositions back towards Balcony, misses the next shot. And Slacks will have to back away. Def falls to JBA in the interim, and so 1.5 v5 for M80. Another round that looks to be isolated in terms of their victories as JBA's on for the ace. We saw one from MOTM, and now we get JBA to find the 5K. 7-3 for Wildcard. That's 2 aces for one team in one half.
2 fiery individuals atop the board for Wildcard, 13 for MOTM. JBA catching up quickly at 11. Slight and Stanislaw, and Sonic as well, all doing more than enough. In my opinion, it feels like Wildcard across the board are outclassing M80 in this one. Bulbs has had his moments. We saw that double entry towards B to get their first round on the board for M80, but as you mentioned, they have yet to get the ball actually rolling. Right when you think they might finally get it unstuck, finds another spot to get stuck into. Swings towards Banana. Wildcard are feeling it. 2 kills for MOTM, a third for Stanislaw. Swisher's low, might be done in by the grenade. Not quite. He won't find anything for his troubles. The last alive is Wreck, and this should be a succinct end to a succinct round. An 8th on the board as well for Wildcard, barring a crazy 1 versus 5 with a Tech 9.
If the 1v5 happens, Nate, which it doesn't, I would expect a Wildcard timeout.
Have to expect one at this point. Guaranteed. If there's not one, then it might just be done and dusted.
I think the biggest issue for M80, though, is the fact that their individuals are not performing. You got MOTM on 16 kills. JBA had his ace 11, 7 on the rest. The triple S's for Wildcard 7-5, 7-5, 7-3. Slacks 0-9. Yes, he is dealing with very high ping. But I think a big part of that problem, too, is the fact that he's been trying to op on T-side Inferno. Opping on T-side Inferno in ideal conditions is never fun. It's not easy. And he's not facing ideal conditions. Far from it. I think that's been part of his personal issue, but the rest of the team, 7-5-5-4, and down goes Wreck to the op of Slight. Another round where M80 start down a man. It's just the same problems plaguing them over and over again. MOTM, a nice little crispy headshot onto Def. Swisher, at the very least, takes down JBA, but that's small consolation and small price to pay. Can at very least get a 3v2 advantage on a site take, but having to clear through the opposite slide here. The timing of Stanislaw, that's a gift! And Swisher cannot quite capitalize on the third contact point in Stanislaw from behind the truck. This has now become a winnable situation if Stanislaw cannot get the second. Malv's taken down so low, though. He's going to have to hit nothing but headshots. And while he's capable of it, a lot of pressure to put on the player, and he's going aggro as well. He knows one's coming through the smoke. He slipped the gap. They don't know he's there. Malbs is outplaying them. He knows they're on site. They're not looking. He misses the one. He got the one tap for the last. What a play by Malbs. A messy spray, but then the clean tap on the finish. Malbs goes insane to get the 4th as we head to the break.
M80 found a way to recover a 4th round in the dying embers of the first half by virtue of a masterful play from the likes of Mobs. The question is, can they find more? I'd say this pistol round is a must-win at this stage, given the 4-8 start on their T side. It's Pineapple, Phillips, and Boggs to bring you the action. And a set of double dualies for Rek and Swisher. No kit present, but there's a flashbang for Slacks, who, as you pointed out in the green room, Boggs, has yet to find a kill. A rough start, and that start is no better for his team. JBA beheads Rek. A second fares no better. Depths out of the round. Flash from Slacks to try and find some inroads, but at this point the site has fallen, and he'll just have to try and find a kill out of sheer desperation. None will be given to him. Slight finds the frag as the smoke blooms. At this point, it feels like curtains on this pistol. Wildcard have made it look clean and convincing. Swift as well. Bomb hits the ground. Swisher and Mobs. 2 you'd want in this situation, but still, with no kit, there's not a lot of breathing room to work with.
The lack of a kit pretty much torpedoes the round, and that kill from Stanislaw on the backstab does even more. JBA, the hat trick on the pistol round, all headshots for him. A sparkling performance on map number 2, or I should say game number 2, compared to Mirage earlier, just a little bit ago. But M80 going back to their tried and trusted 4-spy. Will it find its true mark, however? That pretty much decides the fate of this map for M80. If they can't find the pistol or this 4-spy, they go down 11-4. 7 rounds down. Wildcard need 2 to seal the deal. It is a far cry from even a somewhat reasonable situation for M80 to recover from. So this round pretty much is M80 putting all their eggs in this one basket. They have a little util. They have the scout on Def, who did come up with a pretty incredible no-scope headshot to start their run back on Mirage. But I don't think that's something they can rely on twice. They need a little bit more security. And that is not the start they needed. Again, losing that first player. Def domed by Slight. And it's Wildcard is waiting for the pushes here from M80. I think it's a very disciplined approach and a very good one there. Just allow M80 to make the mistakes to come to them. As Wildcard know that they possess the superior firepower and weaponry. Eventually, Wildcard will have to make a move.
They will, but they know M80 are the ones that are getting desperate at this stage. We saw some peaks that could have been exploited. Like the idea from Wildcard. Slow things down, wait for picks, group up, and go from there. I was going to say, Stanislaw needs to be careful, though. He was in middle. He's caught by Slacks, who's now on the board. Talked about players getting heated with some compromised weapons. Maybe Slacks has finally entered the server. Light, though. Drop Swisher. Eagle of Mobs as well misses its mark. It should not be long for this world. Caught on the swing by from MOTM. Rek does get 1 in the chaos, but not nearly enough, leaving just Slacks. The near silent opera in a 1v3. He's going to try to save this scout, Kevlar, and 5-7 for the following. Wildcard are going to find themselves 3 rounds away from splitting best of ones this evening versus M80.
Splitting best of ones with an emphatic victory, at least it looks like an emphatic victory on Inferno. Of course, M80 can bring it back a little bit here, but they're going to run out of time pretty quickly if they don't start posting rounds here and now. They're going to lose this one, get Wildcard at double digits, and for Wildcard, it's a great response. They don't get daunted. In fact, their individuals step up incredibly well. MOTM, stellar, sitting at a 3.0 KD right now. JBA not too far behind. Pretty much everybody on M80, quiet as mice. And unfortunately for M80, they have no Muad'Dib.
Had to sit in the 4th row of the theater to watch that one, Bugs. It's truly in the trenches.
You know, I haven't seen the second one yet. I just recently watched the first one. So I could have made that reference just from the book.
That's fair. It's a banger.
It is a very good book.
Scout for Slacks. The only thing they have to desperately cling to in this round, barring that 5-7. Actually, a second one invested as well. Scout will work for 1. Still an uphill battle, to say the least. Everybody from Wildcard's positive in terms of KD.
Yep.
It is just across the board and outclassing right now.
3/5 of their team are at a 2.0 KD or higher.
Yeah, Sonic's at 8-4. JBA and MOTM, no doubts there. 14-5. And a 3.0
kill
from
from
TM.
joining the party.
It's absurd.
Utter domination.
Boost for Wreck. This is a good setup to try and rebuke this take. JBA, though, starts things off right. Wreck, though, in the Chaos over top finds one in response. In fact, it's Def on the pistol, the USP to find another.
And look at the
player
damage to
still.
MOTM.
Yeah, modem's low, and also look at the player in sight. Someone's around the smoke, sowing some chaos. This is very doable now for M80. They could find a way to get a 5th on the board in this round. Rek catches MOTM getting overly assertive, and Slight is known to be towards oranges, or at least speculated to be so. Tagged.
They know now.
That should be the round. Yep, that should be it. Jumping up his slacks while in the air, he'll find the headshot. Then M80 find a way to stay alive, but the bigger question, can they string 2 rounds together? They have yet to do so in this map.
That's a good round to start things off with. It's a round where they came into it with next to nothing, and they find a way to find victory and cut the deficit to only 5, double their score. But if they can make a performance on the CT side, it's their favored side. Won't say it's definitely the easier side. It's pretty even these days on Inferno, but this is where it all has to start. String this next round together. Don't lose more than 2 people. Wildcard will probably go for a half buy, depending on whether or not they get the bomb down. And from there, it's just take it 1 round at a time, claw back into this game, and try and draw level. It's possible M80 have the ability to do it individually, and it starts with players like Mobs finishing those kills instead of coming up close. Which only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, which would have done in MOTM if thrown well. Speaking of MOTM, he's just going to hang out. Top of under. And the rest of Wildcard is also just going to pump the brakes here. They're waiting for M80 to get aggressive, but M80 don't seem to want to oblige. They're taking things easy themselves, chilling out in the back, and Mobs is just the guardian of Banana right now. Oh, the timing! He could have caught Stanislaw over top, sprays away, won't catch MOTM either. The bomb still bottom ramp as well. Wildcard did not know where they want to commit. That's another smoke to delay a push. Slacks, however, sticks his neck out. And Slight wins that offers duel. And advantage to T's, and Onyx up in brackets. Def, however, wins that one pretty clean. Good response there, and time's ticking down very low. Wildcard have to make a play, and they're leaning B.
Yeah, Swisher's kind of on an island. He just has some support now. It's Mobs. There's no utility on these belts. They're going to have to win it by duel. Swisher, a good double. There's Mobs peeking in, finding one, spotting the op as well. Slight's not long for the world. Caught by the jumping Swisher to add a bit of flair. They do string 2 rounds together. They do also reset the economy of Wildcard. There is a realm where M80 come back into this. They should have a 7th here at this point, pretty much guaranteed. It's going to be a near full save from Wildcard. They can win the next rifle round. If they can weather the storm that will be round number 18 and keep it rather clean to build that CT economy, they're only a hop and a skip away from tying things up.
But are they a jump away too?
No, just a hop and a skip. 2 rounds.
Yeah. Hop and a skip. A lot closer. Don't even have to go through the effort of jumping. Because if you think about it, the jump is the most strenuous of the 3 processes. Nade kill? Not a kill from Sonic? He loses the fight to Def, who did not have anything ready for that response. Slight gets traded out. It's all JBA and Stanislaw now. If Def goes down, that turns the round. It's a gun for Sonic, and maybe more. But once that domino falls, the rest soon go in suit. And only 1 casualty for M80 is good for the CT economy, which is always hanging by a thread. Buy-in again by Wildcard. Timeout used from them as well, but this is the jump round for M80, Nate. Then they just have that skip and a hop if they can convert this one.
Yep, this is the jump. You are absolutely right. See Wildcard look to make it the longest jump possible by taking that tactical timeout. Wish we got to see how Mobs fell in that round as well. He did get Zeused by Slight. Wish we could have seen that.
That would have been fun. Zeus is recharged now, too.
They recharge, and the sound they make is heard by everybody.
Yep.
So you can shoot it off and spawn, drop it somewhere funny, and there'll be a random sound playing like 30 seconds into the round.
That sounds like something you would come up with, Nate.
Seen a lot of it in the premier games that I've been playing recently.
I
Leads
didn't
to
have to deal with
some
any of that in mine.
zany hijinks, let me tell you. Zany hijinks.
Although I am definitely going to steal that.
I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Aggression middle, through the smoke they come. Slacks double zooming at the exact wrong time. Slight finds one, Stanislaw the second. Both line up. Depth and Slacks sent reeling. Reknos through it all. He's towards porch. He's found a double in response in rebuttal, but Slight has picked up an op and rotated all the way around Arch. He misses the shot. Somehow Rek is the rock they need. He's the one to give them a fighting chance. Slight won't miss the second opportunity, but Rek is still kicking. He's in sight. MOTM, Jamie trying to double clear out. They do so successfully, and that leaves Mobs. He had a solid first map, but he's not going to have a chance in this round. He's caught by Slight, who's using that recovered op in hand. 11-7. The jump is failed. The players do not pass the hurdle. And while M80 will have another rifle buy on deck, they're hanging by a wire. If they lose 2 more rounds, Inferno will fall the way of Wildcard.
So what? M80 stumble at the jump, but they have a couple more opportunities to bring it back here. A little bit of utility used down towards middle. There is one in alt. That is Sonic. Nade down banana. A little bit of chip onto JBA. But M80 need to be very careful. It all went bad for them when they lost the 2 up top middle, though. Slacks gets timing on the double scope, and then just this pop through the smoke exploded in. Mobs going aggro, though he knows there's multiple players. Good flashbang there. Actually, I think that was a team flash that blinded at Mobs, and Swisher just peeks down. He gets domed. Def is also on site. They're not ready for this. And he will finally get spotted. Deals with only 1. If he got the second on a stand, there was a chance, but now it's all up to Rek in a 1v4. And young Rek Monster is not going to have to commit to this. He does a significant amount of nade damage to JBA. He doesn't know that. That's unconfirmed. And so it's up to him to try and save an M4 into the next round, which will be quintuple match point for Wildcard, which gives them a fantastic opportunity to salt this one away, shut down M80, and go 1-for-1 with one of their biggest rivals in the region. Rek, blind, escapes into what used to be called library, which now I guess you can call it wine. Winery.
Wine.
Wine is
Tasting
shorter,
room, perhaps.
but winery is more classy.
That's 3 syllables. It's a lot of words.
It is.
Lot
That
of
is
time.
a lot of word.
It's a lot of word, a lot of time. Personally, I just like to whine.
I thought you were going to leave out the 2 and just go with 2 words there.
Yeah. Go wine cellar, wine barrel.
Tasting
Roll the
room
7.
also, I think that was a good idea from you.
Yeah, there's a couple little benches there, a little wine on the table, but
Counter.
artisan facility for sure. Slacks on the scout gives M80 something to show in this round in the early going. Still a long way to go, however. Only have 3 rifles on hand. Rek actually did very well to save an AK, might I add. Didn't notice that I missed the chaos. I was too busy worrying about the term. That is a big boon that could bail them out in this round, round number 20. Slacks still on that scout towards the middle. He's the only one peeking brackets, though. He needs to be careful. Wildcard are going towards A. There's 3 players here with that rotation from Swisher. Pressure's on Rek. He's the only one with a rifle proper in hand. He's going to have to be the rock for his team yet again.
Don't underestimate the MP9 in this kind of a location. This is prime MP9 feeding territory. Team kill from Stanislaw, too. And there's that rifle. Here's the MP9 from Cubby. Can't quite get the second on a stand, but it's a 1v3 for the in-game leader of Wildcard. Unless something goes horribly wrong or is horribly misplayed by the CT side, they should at least survive for another round here. And it is not misplayed. Rek does well to finish the job. 4 rounds the deficit. And only 2 casualties means nice buys here for M80.
Tactical timeout used. Makes sense. Rek's becoming an active star at this point for M80. The one that's really bailing them out. So he's the one that they need to disentrench. He's been rather consistently on that balcony and or in that pit. So they can either pivot around that or punish it. Wildcard should have a round, and that's all they need, just 1 round to close this one out. M80 still far from out of the woodwork. They're going to have an MP9 for slacks. Less than ideal, but the buy from Wildcard is even more haphazard. They have 3 Tech 9s, 1 op for Slight, who's actually made it work quite well on the T side, might I add, and their star MOTM is on an AK.
Pistols, Tech 9s, run in, get your headshot, upgrade your gun. Very viable on a map like Inferno, where it's close quarters in a lot of situations. Slack still relegated to an MP9 as well, although I don't think that's a problem with his ping. Very slow round again from Wildcard on this T side. They like to wait it out and explode late. Look for those aggressive plays from the CT side that yield them opening kills. Slacks might just give it to him too. Sonic's got the molly out. He elects to move away. Pin should have been heard though, and that's some information there for Slacks to communicate to the rest of the team. Def is over on Arches alone. Rek also in pit. Talked about Rek being an anchor, Nate. He's one of the best in the region. He's been very good at his job in the CT half. They're going to have to call upon him again here as all of Wildcard geared up for this A-side execute. And Def is rotating to B off of no information. Oh, he's rotating to... No, he is? Oh, no, I don't like this at all. I do not like this at all.
It's not good. Gotta go towards Arch as well. The undefended position, that smoke should tell the 2 players towards pit and balcony what's going on, but can this actually be stopped by depth? The answer is no. MOTM, good shot with the AK. As the arch wrap opened up, Swisher now has to do a lot from Church. 2 players racing forward. They haven't necessarily committed as of yet. In fact, it's a bit of a fake in actuality from Wildcard.
Look at the time. They have no time.
10 seconds left. They had to go for this wrap now, and Rek on site couldn't just buy enough. Finding the first, not the second. The player on balcony can't do enough either. 5 seconds, the bomb will hit dirt. And Mobs combined with Swisher, a duo we've been talking about, we've been hyping up a lot. Has to now bring it back from the brink. M80. Swisher down to 21, taken down with a second shot from Slight in follow-up. The last alive, Mobs, high ping. He's at a lackluster map on Inferno. Can he bring it back in a 1v4? We saw the clutch in the final round of the first half, but this seems like too much to ask. The first pass, not the second. Sonic on the swing is too quick with it. 13-8 in favor of Wildcard to match the scoreline exactly from map number 1. 13-8 for M80 on Mirage, 13-8 from Wildcard on Inferno, and we do split best of ones on this evening, Boggs.
2 of the heavyweights in this season of ESL Challenger League going at it for their first games of the season. They split the difference down the middle, 1 map 4.